So coming over to the passenger side of the bus, I'm checking my doors, making sure that they are working functionally correct, they're open and closing, that there is no broken or missing any parts. I'm also checking the bottom screws, making sure that that it's safely connected to the bus. Also checking my windows, making sure that there is nothing that is impeding the driver from looking out or from its view. I also have my DEF tank right here, which we have no access to. So you want to make sure you do say that, because other buses, other districts do have access to it. The drivers do, but we don't here. Okay. Also, I'm checking that my student loading lights, or my entry lights, which are white in color, and there should be 3, 1, 2, 3. And I will talk about more of the inside of the bus once we come back to it. So along the side of my bus, I'm looking at my 3 clearance lights, which are 2 ambers in the front, 3 red in the back of the duals, making sure that they're safely connected to the bus and that there is no broken or missing parts and that they are a proper color. I'm also looking at my 2 emergency windows, making sure that they are properly labeled, visible to the public, and I'm also checking the reflector tape around the windows, making sure that it is visible and viewable to the public. Also, I'm checking this reflector tape, that it's going all the way down the side of my bus along with my school bus sign, and that it is visible to the public and that there is no excessive wear to it and that there is no lifting. Again, with my emergency windows, I will check the alarm systems once we're inside the bus. We'll go over that later. I'm also going to look at my windows all across the board, making sure that there is no crack or damages to any of my windows. I'm also checking my my bumper brackets, making that they're safely secured to the bus, which I have 4 of them, and that there is no broken or missing any parts, and that there is no bolts missing. Also, I'm checking my turn signal and my hazard lights, making sure that they're proper color, which is amber in the front, red in the back, and that is safely secured to the bus and that there's no broken or missing any parts. Also, along with my reflectors, I have 2 in the front, 2 reflectors, and then I have a red in the back, making sure that it's safely connected to the bus and that there is no broken or missing any parts. Also, as well with my diesel tank, I'm checking that the door of my diesel tank is making sure that it is safely secured to the bus, that the hinges are safely intact to the bus, and that it opens and closes properly. And also, again, with my diesel top, making sure that it's safely secured to the bus and that it is not loose or, damaged in any way. Now I'm going to go underneath my bus. I'm looking at the frame of my bus, making sure that it is not dented or shifted in any way. I'm looking at the exhaust, which the exhaust runs to the front of the back all the way to the back of the front of the bus all the way to the back of the bus, making sure that I don't see any soot on my exhaust itself. That would indicate that there was a problem with the exhaust. I'm also looking at my dry shaft, making sure that my dry shaft is safely connected and that it is hung by the hangers, making sure that the hangers are in proper place and that it is connected to the bus and that there is no broken or missing or loose parts. From here, I will go to the opposite side of my suspension from my bus, being because I can't see on this side. So again, I'm going to go over the suspension on that side. So I'm looking at my, and you're looking at the same thing. I'm looking at my spring mounts, making sure that my spring mounts are connected to the bus and that there's no broken or missing any parts. My spring leaf and torque leaf, making sure that it is connected to the bus and that there is no broken or missing any parts. As well as my U-joints that are back there that with the bushings in between them, making sure that they're connected to the bus and that there is no broken or missing any parts. I'm also looking at my brake line, my brake chamber. So you see which one's the brake chamber, right?
The big piece.
Yeah, that big piece.
The two is two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my brake chamber, making sure that it's safely connected to the bus, along with my brake lines and my ABS line. So can you see it? They're like, it's way up there.
Brake lines and ABS line?
Yeah, you see it, how it's way up there?
No. Where?
Okay, you see the brake chamber?
Yes.
Okay, so if you go up a little bit from the brake chamber.
Oh, yes. Okay, I was looking further up.
Right yeah.
I was looking way up there. All right, I got you. Yeah, okay.
And then again, you're looking at the same thing like you should look in the front of your suspension, but you're stating everything that you're looking at. Again, your tie rod, your push rod, you're making sure that it's safely connected to the bus or safely secured to the bus, not connected, secure to the bus, and that there is no broken or missing any parts. So now I'm coming back to our dual tires. I'm making sure that I'm looking at the thread along the dual tires again together with the bud wheel. This is my bud wheel, and the thread should be no more than 2/32 of an inch in the back of the bus. Also, I'm looking in between my tires, making sure that there is nothing impeding them from moving, and that there is nothing in between, how do you say it, like stopping them, you know, in between or getting in the way. Again, I'm looking at the same thing at the wall of my tire. As I mentioned in the front, I will go over this one as well since we're doing the back tire. I'm looking at the wall of my tire, making sure that there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts on the wall of the tire. Also, I'm looking to make sure that it is evenly spaced or properly spaced between the tire and the rim itself. I'm looking at my rim, making sure that there is no broken parts and that there's no illegal welds other than factory welds to the rim itself. Looking at my lug nuts, making sure that my lug nuts are safely secured to the bus, and that there is no, if there were any rust or metal shavings, that would indicate that one of them are loose. I'm looking at my axle seal. So the front is a hub seal, the back is an axle seal. Okay, so just remember, like axle, you know, the back axle. So I'm looking at my back axle, my axle seal, making sure that it's safely connected, safely secured to the bus, and again that there is no loose or missing parts when it comes to the lug nuts around the axle seal. If I were to see a spray pattern around the rim of the tire, that would indicate that that it was loose, or that there was a malfunction. Also, I'm looking at my stem valve, making sure that my stem valve is properly mounted to the bus and that it has the top tightened. Also, I'm looking at my stem valve in the back on my bud wheel. So you want to point out both of them, the one in the front and then the one in the back. So it'll be in a different location every time because the way the tires move. You see it?
Yeah.
Also, what I did forget to mention in the front is that if my tire were to need air, I would use my stem valve, and it should read up to 100 psi's. Back here, because this is an air tank, air tank bus, we have our 2 air bellows that are in the back of the wheel. And also, while I'm down here, I would announce this is my fuel tank, and we hold or this bus holds a 100-gallon tank. So, okay, with the back of the bus, again, I'm going to start up top and work my way down. I'm looking at my 3 clearance lights on top, which are red in color because they're behind the duals. I'm looking, making sure that there's no broken or missing any parts. I'm looking at my student loading lights, which are red and amber in color, making sure that there's no broken or missing any parts. My school bus sign, that it is visible to the public and that there's no lifting broken or missing any parts as well. I'm also making sure that my bus also has reflecting tape all the way around and around the emergency door, making sure that it's not lifted, broken, or frayed in any kind of way. I'm also checking my windows in the back, making sure that there is nothing impeding the driver from looking out. Again, we will look again once we are inside the bus. I'm also looking at my lights, my light fixtures. I have my hazards and turn signals that are amber in color on both sides, making sure that they are not broken or missing any parts. My red brake lights, which I have 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 brake lights, that they are proper in color and that there's no broken or missing any parts. I have my white backup lights that are white in color, making sure that they're not broken or missing any parts. Along with my my license plate, which I have a white license plate color light, and again it's white in color, and that there's no broken or missing any parts, and also that my license plate is secured to the bus and that it is visible to the public. I have my emergency door, which is properly labeled. I'm gonna check it from out here, and I would check it from the inside as well. Checking my door, making sure that it is safely connected to the bus and that there's no broken or missing any parts, and that it is adhered to the bus as well. Making sure that it's labeled from the inside as well, that this is emergency door exit. When I come in here, I also want to check my foot threading down the back from the back to the front of my bus, and I'm also checking my seats, making sure that they are safely mounted and secured to the bus. Again, I will check them once I'm inside the bus, but I just want to mention it while I'm back here. That's also what I'm looking for. Checking my door, making sure that it locks properly and that it is safely mounted to the bus. Oh, my exhaust, I'm looking at so that my exhaust tail is connected to the bus or safely secured to the bus, and that it is secure, I guess to say. So this is the driver's side. The only thing, I'm just going to show you the unique differences from the driver's side than it is from the passenger side. So once you get to this side, you're not going to have to announce everything again, because everything's basically the same. You're just going to have to announce the unique differences. So one of the unique differences is the stop arms. We have 2 stop arms. So since I'm saying that we have 2, you'll only have to check one, but you'll let her know, or you'll let the DPS worker know that you're going to check the front one exactly the way you would check the back one. So you're making sure that it's safely secured to the bus, that it's working properly, that it's proper in color, and that there is no broken or missing any parts to it. And again, you would check it once you're inside the bus to make sure that it is functioning normal. Another difference on this side of the bus, on the driver's side of the bus, is we have 2 I don't know, I forgot how to say it. 2 boxes, I guess to say. This one we also have no access to as well, but you do want to mention that we just don't have any access to it. This is our battery box. You do want to open this one, making sure that it opens and closes properly, that the hinges are adhered to the bus, there is no broken or missing any parts, or missing any bolts. I'm looking also at my battery boxes in here, making sure that they're evenly spaced and that there is no corrosions on the batteries itself, and that the wiring is connected to the bus, and that there is no broken or missing any parts. That's basically all you have to say. The last unique difference on this side of the bus is our driver window. Because remember, on that side it's the passenger door. Mm-hmm. So this side you want to mention your driver window because it's different. So another unique difference, our last unique difference, is the driver window. You're making sure that there is nothing impeding the driver from looking out, and that there's no illegal stickers on the window itself. And then again, we would check it once we're inside the bus. And that's it.